Hello everybody, this is Ali with Ali So Crafty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to cut waterproof Canva and faux leather, also known as vinyl, using the Cricut Maker. So throughout this video, you're going to hear me mention the project or cable organizers. And the reason why is because I was actually recording another video that is coming up in a couple of weeks where I was embroidering some cable organizers. And before I started embroidering, I decided to cut the fabric for that project using the Cricut Maker. And so I was recording that process to include it in that embroidery video. And then as I was doing it, I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, this is like two different subjects here. So I said, Ali, this is either an embroidery video or this is a Cricut Maker video. Choose, Ali, choose. You have to pick. And so, because I couldn't pick, I split the video in half. So I decided that today I was going to show you how I was able to cut the fabric using my Cricut Maker. And soon you will see the video on the embroidery for the cable organizers. So we're going to cut waterproof Canva and we're going to cut faux leather. I will go over the settings with you and I will go over how to place the fabric on the mat. And if at any point you want to skip over because you're not interested on this step or the next step, you can click the times in the timestamps right here in the description, and so that way you can just go to the part of the video that is interesting to you. Also, don't forget to let me know down in the comments if this was a useful video for you, if there's something else that you want me to go over, if you have any questions about the Cricut Maker that you want me to cover. I'll be more than happy to read the comments, of course, and answer as many questions as I can answer. That I really enjoy reading from you and having that interaction with you. And of course, if at any point you like what you see, would you please give me a thumbs up? Hitting the like button helps me more than you know. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and also click the notification bell. That way you can receive a notification when I upload the next video. Okay, you guys, so let's go and create this beautiful project together. I'm going to cut the fabric using the Cricut. And the inside the hoop is 5 by 7. So I will just create a quick little project here, new, and just a rectangle, and it's going to be 5 inches wide and 7 inches long, and that's it. And so how many of these will fit in a 12 by 12? Then I don't know, I'm going to duplicate it. So I see here 12, right? So 2, and then here we have 12 up to here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough to even put it, like if I put it sideways, for example. Let me duplicate this one. Say I duplicate it and I turn it sideways. It's going to be too big. Now I do have the longer mat, the 12 by 24. And since I'm making so many of these cable holders, I think I'm going to do as many as I can fit in here. And I could probably fit at least, let me say, I think I can fit 6. So there you go. So let's make it. Let's pretend that we're making it. Now, obviously I can do as many as I want and change the mat constantly. But if I do 12 by 24, they will all fit here and I don't have to keep changing the mat only every 3 cuts, right? And this is probably better because I can just cut a piece of fabric that is 12 inches by 24 and just put it on the mat and get it to cut and give me, instead of keep switching it back and forth. But if you don't have that, if you don't have the long mat, you can, just keep switching it, When you finish cutting, put another one. But ideally, you want to fit as much as you can in your mat. Not only it saves you time, but it also saves you material. So I have all these scraps and I didn't have a long piece that was 12 inches by 24. And I have fabric, but I didn't want to go cut fabric to put on the mat for this project. So what I did is that I cut strips of fabric. I was able to manage it big enough that they will fit across the mat like this, in that I can put 3 of them together. And if I need to move the pieces around in Design Studio, then I can. That way they will fit here and they will cut my fabric the way I wanted to cut it. So let me take the film off. And let's see how we can make this work. I know that they are at least 7 inches long. So this one is 8 inches, which is great, and it's 12. Okay, so that one will cut perfectly. But then I don't want the next set of the rectangles to cut on this. So what I need to do is when I go in the computer and Design Space, I will have to move the rectangles around so that they can match my fabric here. But I was able to I was able to fit, I don't know, will that fit? What I'm going to do, this is 8 inches here. I'm just going to push this fabric a little closer to the edge here. And this one is right at 16. So I can push this one a little closer to the edge. So what I have is, and let me use my little dandy tool because I want to make sure my fabric is flat on the mat. There's like a bubble in there. Okay, so I have the 16-inch mark, the 8-inch mark. Let me go play in the computer and see how I can get that to work. Okay, so here we are. Let's see, we're moving the fabric, we're moving the squares, around. And the way we do this is that we're going to move these all the way to the bottom, right? Because we have fabric all the way to the bottom, which is good. Then these will end around 16 mark. And then these are good because the fabric that I have ends, the edge of the fabric is at the 8-inch mark. So I can actually move this a little more like that. And then the edge of this fabric is it's past the 16 mark. But if I move it, I can't move it lower than this. So I'm assuming that is going to be okay. Okay, I think this will be good. So after pressing continue and making sure that my Cricut is connected to my computer, the first thing that the system asks you is to choose the fabric. And first, I picked this faux leather paper thin, and that didn't work. It didn't have enough pressure when it was cutting the fabric. So what I did is that I went to browse all materials and I typed Canva. Because this is waterproof Canva, so it is a little bit thicker than regular fabric and a little bit thinner than vinyl, but it's not paper thin. So it has plastic Canva, which is not what this is. Plastic Canva is sturdy, it's thick, and then just Canva. So that's what I picked, and I clicked done. And now it's going to give me the options to select the pressure. You can either do more pressure if you think your Canva is really thick, default, or less if it's like a thinner type of Canva. I did more just so that I can be sure that it will cut everything this time around. And of course, you will load it by pressing this button in your machine to load the mat. Make sure you have your rotary blade. And then once you have that, it will give you the option to press go. Since I'm making several of these, I decided to look for another color, another fabric color, and I have this faux leather. It's really thick, and I had a whole piece. So as you can tell, I decided to just cut, 24 inches, a little bit more, by 12 with my scissors, not perfect. And now I'm going to cut 6 more rectangles. Now to cut the faux leather. This is a little bit thicker than the waterproof Canva. I am going to leave the design just the same way it is here, even though I have an entire piece of fabric and it's not cut into pieces. That is the good thing about Design Space here, that you can actually move your design to match your fabric. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So I'm going to click continue. So once it's connected to the machine, it gives you the option for the material. Now, in this case, I am going to use the settings for heavy fabric like denim. There is no setting just for faux leather that it's not paper thin. So you have to use heavy fabric like denim, and depending on how thick your faux leather is, your vinyl is, you have to select here the pressure. I am going to select more one more time because I just, it's okay if you do default and say it didn't cut fully. You can run it through the machine one more time and have it cut it again over the original cut, and that will work. But I decided to do more and see what happens, okay? And again, it will tell you to load the rotary blade, and of course you're going to load your mat and unload it the way you would do, and then press go. Okay, let's see how it turned out. Yay, look at that. Oh, let me get it. Came out so easily. Wow. And the pressure was just right. Sometimes if I do too much pressure, it will actually cut the mat. But that didn't happen this time. So I know now for this type of vinyl, this thickness, this is, I'm okay. I mean, this is pretty thick, I think. Definitely heavy fabric like denim, and the pressure more, not the default. Maybe the default would work, but obviously this worked too. So I have, see, 1, 2, and 3 cable holders now.